Hello viewers, today I'm working on a 2010 Toyota Corolla, and we are just going to be installing an aftermarket short throw shifter. Earlier I replaced the clutch on this vehicle in July of 2023, and I did not have the time or the chance to install the short throw shifter, and so today I'm going to be doing that now. So the kit that I have is by the off of the Monkey Wrench Racing website, and I will post the part numbers in the description and in the comments section. This is for a 2003 to 2013 Corolla. Part number MWR 407005. This was on sale, so I got it for a little cheaper. Forgot exactly how much I paid, but it was in US dollars because I live in Canada, so the exchange rate was a little different. But this probably cost me like hundred bucks maybe, or something Canadian, or 100 and something. It came with the sticker as well. They also included some candy. They had like the small package of the Sour Patch Kids candy that they included in the kit. I showed that in one of my videos for the clutch replacement. I will leave the links for those as well. So this kit comes with the shifter itself. I think it's like a couple inches smaller than the stock shifter. It comes with the base bushings for the bottom part of the shifter, and it also comes with the bolts and the washers and the special tool to get the ball out, or the socket out. Okay, so enough talking for me. I'm gonna get started now. So before we start, I'm just going to remove all this junk out of the way so I can have myself some room and access. And you can see that the boot has a rip here, so I'm going to be replacing this boot as well. So if you want to tune in, you will see how you can replace the boot. So the first thing you want to do is to remove the trim from here. So you just go behind and you push back on both sides carefully so you don't damage it. The same on the other side. Make sure you use two hands firmly on both ends. You don't want to do it with one hand, otherwise you are going to break something. And now they have the two of the Phillips screws, so we are going to remove that. You can use a number 2 Phillips with two small screws. I'm going to take that out. Okay, and then what's left here is we need to remove the shift knob. Make sure that you have the parking brake engaged so that the car does not roll. This is going to be in neutral. So we're going to take this out. It just comes out like that. You just need to turn counterclockwise, and then it comes out. So now what are we going to do? I think we're going to pull on this, get the plastic piece out. I don't know if there's any other connections here, or bolts or screws. So these are lined up on the two dowels here. You have like a dowel, plastic dowel, so you need to push it out and get it out of its place in order to get it out. And you just need to push up on the assembly after that, and you should be able to get it out. Now you do have some electrical connections in the back, so you need to make sure you take the electrical connections out before you get this out completely. In the back here, there's one for the cigarette lighter, or the 12-volt uh, uh, accessory. So this a plastic piece, you need to put either a trim tool inside, in between, to open it up, or you can use like a flathead screwdriver to extend and open up this piece so you're able to get it out. Just need to slide this upward so you can get it out of place, so you'll be able to get it out. There you go. That's a tough one. You need to open up to extend it open so you're able to get this piece out. So that's that. So we're able to get this guy out of here now. I'm going to set that aside over here, and then now you're gonna have another two screws to take out in order to get the center console out, and we need to unbolt over here inside the center console, the compartment area. So get these screws out as well. I believe these screws are the same size as the other screws, so you don't need to worry about the mixing up of the screws. So that's loose now. So there are two of the 10 millimeter bolts inside. You just need to take off the this piece, and then you'll have the two bolts exposed. So you take these two out, and then you should be able to get the center console out. Just taking out the two screws, bolts out of the way. Two bolts. And you should be able to lift the console now. It should be able to come free. So this piece should come free. And it looks like it's like a two-piece. The center console looks like it's a two-piece. You have to pull up here to be able to get it out. You need to push out on this here in order to get it out. There's the trim that's connected to in the front. So you need to get that out of the way. You just you slide it out this way. I didn't show that earlier, unfortunately, because I'm just doing the job as I'm seeing it. Because sometimes there isn't really enough service information data to see everything. Is just the two in the front. You need to 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 pull out slightly and to push it so you're able to get it out. It pushes this. You just need to lift and push out. You need to get the boot, the parking brake boot out of here. Now, I'm not replacing that, but I should have got a replacement. This is just as old as the other one. We're gonna get it out now. Should be able to slide it out. And I'll be cleaning all of this stuff off camera before I put it back in. Now it's a good time to clean and vacuum. I believe there is one more connector attached to this. Just trying to see and what's here. There's one connector down here which I did not see, so you need to disconnect that, and then you should be able to get it out now, I believe. Here we go. I'm just gonna throw this in the back seat for now so it's out of the way. So what we are going to do now is to remove the the locking clip here that's locking the rod piece that's holding this in place, so we're able to get the shifter out. So we need to get this loose to break it open, and then we can get the shifter out. You can see the ball detent at the bottom here. You'll need to pop that out. We have a special tool to get that out. You can see it's connected to the shifter cable for these two. You can see a clip inside there, so we'll probably have to get that clip out also in order to get it out. Just gonna see if I can just use a screwdriver to get this off. I'm probably going to leave the base inside here because I don't want to take the base completely off of the car, because then I'm going to be fighting with it on the bench trying to get this off and stuff. So I can do it inside the vehicle. The weather is nice outside today, so I'm able to work on this. So I'm going to unclip this. I believe you can use a screwdriver. Just trying to see on how this goes. I'm just trying to turn this to push out the clip without breaking anything, of course. So I think you may need to do it on both ends if you're able to at the same time. I'm not sure. We're gonna see. Just trying to get it out of a position. I'm sitting in the passenger's side area at the moment. That's out. See if I can slide it out by hand. Oh, there you go. So I got it out. You don't need to take it out completely, just so that the ball gets unlocked. And there's a plastic piece that needs to come out after that. But we'll this is for the right side cable, and now for the left side cable is over here. So I think that's right. Yeah, so we have to take this locking clip off now. We have to take this clip off now. And just making sure I have my replacement clip. I believe it's the one here. This is the replacement clip that's inside the package. It's a very heavy duty clip, so if this doesn't work, you might need to grind it down carefully if you're able to. So I'm gonna see if I can hammer out the pin a tiny bit so I can get some space to get the lock washer out, because it's very difficult to get out. Just using a flat a chisel and a small hammer. Being careful to not damage the housing. Just be careful to not damage the housing, because it's most likely a very expensive housing. Just make sure you have a very sharp flathead screwdriver. If you use like a dull or more of a, I don't know how to say it, like a blunted screwdriver, it's not going to work. To focus on the to focus on the edge of the washer here. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult. You can cut it off if you're careful. You just need to be careful to not damage the housing. So this is a newer screwdriver, so it's a lot sharper than the other ones I have. They don't normally work too well. I'm just now using a small chisel now. Try to cut it instead if I'm able to. So now I managed to push back on it. I use a die grinder just to grind down the washer a little bit, but being careful and not really damage the housing. I probably did put like a few like nicks on it, but it's not a big deal. So that's it. I just pried off the washer just now, and it almost hit me in the face. So it's somewhere in the car. So now it's out. So now we can push the pin out. So here's the washer. Just make sure that if you guys are doing this yourselves, to give yourself give yourselves some time to do this. This it took me a while, so I was fighting with it, probably half an hour, maybe. I'm not sure. I've seen other guys do the same job. They make it look way too easy. So uh, I don't like to give people false hopes when doing automotive repairs, car repairs. So just trying to show you exactly on what I'm going through, because I've seen other guys do it uh, in person and also on YouTube, and they make it look very easy. So just watch out for that. So we're gonna drive the pin out now. I'll show you the other side. The other side. Just take a note on how the spring lines up. When I push back and forth in the neutral position, one spring goes up. When I go to the right, one spring goes down when I go to the left. So that's how it needs to be lined up when you get the pin out. Now I'm going to get the pin out. Hopefully it'll go out easily with not too much force. It's almost out. The other side here. Almost pushed all the way out now. Here we go. Now it's out. Here's the pin. Looks very similar to like a caliper pin, a slider pin, a guide pin, or whatever you want to call it, from brakes. So we're going to lubricate this up after we are finished. So now there's the special tool. I believe we just need to insert it here in order to get it out, or something like that. I'm not sure, but you don't really need this special tool. Try the other side. See if I can get this out now from here. Not sure how this works exactly. Okay, so that you push down, or you use the tool that came with the kit. Put it on the very top and push down. You should be able to get it out after that. And this piece just comes out. We will set that aside. And then this, you can just, this goes in between the springs here. I don't know if you can see that. And this, when you install it back, is gonna go in between the spring, the bottom piece. There's one at the bottom, one at the top. Lines up on the black square or rectangular piece. So this just should be able to come out. Slide it, right? And the spring is gonna fall, of course. So you need to make sure you put it back in the same way after, when you're ready to install it. There's the bottom plastic piece that we need to transfer over after. With the spring, make sure to not lose that spring. I'm just trying to get it out, trapped in between there. So this is the spring. So make sure when you install it, it goes in between here. So that's that. This is the shifter We're gonna remove this out of the way. There's other pieces that come out, but you don't need to take it out. There's like a black gasket seal in here. We're just gonna leave this. Later we're gonna just clean the housing up a little bit and add some new grease inside for lubrication. So this piece, you just need to pry with a screwdriver. Just gently pry it down. You should be able to get it out afterwards. So you have the old one and the new one. It's probably a couple inches shorter than the OEM. So now we're just going to remove the 4 bolts, 12mm bolts. They're not on all that tight, so I'm using a 1/4 inch ratchet with an extension. Just gonna install the base bushings on these. And we're going to remove the old base bushings after that. These ones, they come with the new bolts, so we are going to use the new bolts. I didn't want to take this off the vehicle because if I did, I would be fighting with it when this is on the bench. So you have something to hold it down. So I feel like it's easier for me to just do it in the vehicle because I have something holding it down. So there's a total of 4 bolts here. Trying to get the bolts out. I have a magnet. Just give me a second. Here's the magnet. Get it out. Now I don't want to remove the base completely out of the vehicle because I just don't feel like disturbing the control cables, the shifter cables. So now we're gonna get the bushings out. There's a metal sleeve that you need to take out, so you can probably use like a thin screwdriver of some sort to push the sleeve out first before you need to take the bushings out. And just push down on the sleeve. You should be able to get it out then. Make sure you don't drop it anywhere. That's why I'm just putting my fingers from underneath, but at the same time, I don't want to stab myself. So these are the sleeves. So I'm just taking them out one by one. And then the bushings, you can just pry them out also afterwards. This one now, the same. Just push it down on the sleeves and you should be able to get them out. And then the bushings, the same way. You can just push on the side and push out. Just like that. Just use a flathead screwdriver and you can just can push the bushings out easily. Just make sure they don't fall inside the carpeting area or the upholstery of the car. Just make sure you catch them. They don't go uh, flying around. That's out. All four out. Now we're gonna get the replacement bushings now that I have here, and the bolts and the washers. These bushings, you just need to line them up. You line them up and you get the bolts in. You need to make sure you line them up properly on the housing. Make sure they seat in properly, and that way they won't go anywhere. Just place these underneath and make sure they are seated in. And then after, we are going to put the bolts in afterwards. Make sure everything is lined up. Basically, when you put the bolts in, they should be able to line up properly. So I'm going to grab the bolts. These are the new bolts that they came with the washer. So the bolt and then the washer will go on top. Just thread each one a few threads or so by hand. Don't tighten them out. Don't tighten them up completely yet. Trying to see if these are the same size as the other one, 12. Yeah, these are not the same size. It's a different socket size. I think they're 14. Yeah, it seems like it's a 14. 14. The the step portion of the bushing I didn't show you earlier needs to be facing up so that it lines up properly. It's not supposed to be upside down. Can't show you guys anymore because these are already installed now. So the portion on where the step is on the bushing, the new aluminum bushings should be facing up, so it lines up properly. And the flat portion should be at the bottom, the one that's completely flat. I hope you guys understand that if you're doing this job yourselves. So we're gonna tighten this up just by hand first. There is a torque spec. I think it's 20 Newton meters, but you don't really need to torque them down. You can just tighten it up snug and you should be fine. There shouldn't be any problems. But if you want to tighten it down to 20 Newton meters, then you can. I think 20 Newton meters is like close to, I think like 15 foot-pounds or something like that. But I will put the spec on the screen for you guys to see. And before I tighten these up, I just want to make sure that everything is lined up properly before I tighten these up. You can just pull back on the carpet and to look on the side to check if it's lined up properly. This one is not lined up, so you can see. I'll show you guys on camera. If the step part is exposed, then you know it's not lined up. It should be down like this, where you don't see it exposed. So it shouldn't be like this. It should be like this. It's not exposed, then you know it's lined up. You can check the other side as well. Over here, it's not exposed, so that's how you know it's if it's lined up or not. You want to make sure that it's like this. It's like this, and that's how you know it's in properly. So now we're just going to tighten these up. Just need to tighten it down snug, and you should be okay. I'll put the torque spec on the screen if you want to torque it. Just if you don't have a torque wrench, just tighten it down by hand firmly with a 1/4-inch ratchet, and then that's it. You don't need to tighten these down all too much. Give this a few shakes, make sure everything is good, and we're just gonna clean everything up, and then we're gonna have to lubricate the area with some new grease. You can probably use any type of grease, wheel bearing grease or white lithium grease. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, just as long as it's some form of grease, and you should be fine. We're just going to clean up the area. We add some new grease after we are ready to do the install. Do the same for in here too, where the pin is gonna go in. Just try your best to clean the area down. I'm gonna add some new grease now onto the new and the old parts that we are going to reuse, plastic stuff. I'm just gonna add some grease around the area. I'm using the Super Lube, the lithium grease, NLGI. So we're gonna put some of that. Again, it doesn't matter what grease you use, as long as you use some form of grease. Anything for lubrication. You don't need to use too much, but just a regular amount of needed grease. We're also going to put some on these parts as well. There's a small plastic piece. The ball will sit at the bottom, so you just need to squeeze it in, get it in there. You just need to push on it. There you go. This is the plastic piece at the bottom. Make sure you don't forget that. Put some grease at the bottom, because it's gonna go inside the socket. Or you can put it in the cable itself if you want. You don't need to put too much, just a tiny amount. And I think we are ready now. And then after, we're gonna grease the spring up afterwards. So we're going to sit this down in here, get it inside the cable, and we need to lock it in afterwards. After, at the very end, we'll lock it in. Just sits like this. Then this piece goes in here like this, and we need to line up the spring. The spring goes behind it. So we're gonna lubricate the spring, and this needs to go in between the black piece, the top and the bottom. So now we just need to get the bottom uh, ball piece in by pushing in. I think it's already pushed in. No, it's not. Push it in all the way first before I put the clip in. I don't know if that seats in. I think it just locks in, doesn't seat in. So see. I'll lock this in now. That's not right. So I believe that it doesn't snap in place. It just sits inside there, and then the clips need to lock in, because now it just snapped in place, I believe, off camera. So now we're good. I was not able to show that, unfortunately, because now I'm not able to get it out. It's stuck. I saw the clips move in to push in place. So I think we're good now. Just make sure and verify that the clips are in all the way, so that it doesn't come out. See, I'm not able to push it out now. So just make sure that when you get this in, that it doesn't come out easily, and then you should be all good. It's clipped in now all the way on both ends, so we should be okay now. So now we're going to lubricate the pin with some grease. Just gonna insert it inside now after we get the plastic piece in. The plastic piece needs to lock in place. Make sure that you line the spring and everything up. That should clip into place. And then now we can get this in. This goes on from the other side, actually. So we need to line all the holes up in order to get it in. Just make sure everything is lined up. Uh, It's not in all the way yet, but I'm just showing you guys. So make sure that this is lined up on top and the spring is at the bottom. So now, as you are trying to get in the pin, it went in like partial way. After you got it in, you can just tap it with a hammer, just like this, and it should be able to go through. It would not go through by hand. I gently tapped it and it went through. I wasn't able to show you on camera, but then after, you might have a hard time with the horizontal position, but after you move it a few times, it should seat into place, and you should be able to move it then. Or just use a small hammer to tap on the pin to get it through. Make sure it's in all the way. The spring, you just need to make sure that there's one on top, and you can see that the wear mark on the black piece. You can see the indentation, so make sure it's seated on there. And then there is the part of the spring at the bottom, so when you go to the left, the top piece moves down. When you go to the right, the bottom piece moves upwards. So once that's in all the way, you can install the lock washer that it came with. I believe this is there's a concave and there is a convex part of the lock washer. The concave part is going to be facing towards you, and the convex part is going to be facing the against the housing on the base. So I believe it's gonna be this way. I don't think it matters too much either way. Initially, I thought it was supposed to be this way, but I think it's gonna be in this way. So I'm gonna install it like that, and I think you should be fine, because either way, the lock washer is going to lock the pin in place, so it does not really matter. And again, you want to make sure that the that you make sure that the pin is hammered all the way towards the outer part before you lock it in, because once you use this, that's it, unless you have a replacement. So you want to make sure that everything is working properly before you install this back. You can use your hands, and later you can just use like a flathead screwdriver to drive it through, or something, or any kind of tool that you can use. Really, it doesn't really matter, as long as you get it in. Or you could use like a socket too, even get a socket and to hammer that in place. You can also grab your 12mm socket and just hammer that in carefully, and you should be able to get it in. If you want to do that, it doesn't really matter. You could do that, or just use your hands and a screwdriver to pry it in if you want. The socket is not really working with me, so I'm just gonna try to do it by hand and use a flathead or something that I can try to seat it in first. Or you can still use the same the chisel if you want, and do that instead, and that will also work fine. So I think that's easier. That's what seems to work now. There we go. Now it's locked in. Just use your hand to lock it in, and then you can even use like a thin, very thin screwdriver to drive the individual pieces inside if you want. The socket didn't really seem to work, so I installed this on the The outer part is the concave end. The inside part is the convex. So basically what this does is you're going to flatten out the washer anyways, so it will be seated flush and straight against the base of the housing. I think that's good as long as it's seated in flat. And if you want, you can just use a hammer to go around the corners. That's what you should probably do. Make sure it's in all the way so it doesn't come off while you're driving. That's the last thing you want to happen. So yeah, just use a flat chisel or drift chisel and just go around each of the corners to flatten this up, and then you should be good after that. You don't need to kill it, but as long as it's seated in, you should be all right, and then you should be all good to go. I think that's everything. I'm just going to test this out and add a bit more grease if necessary, and then everything is just going to be the reverse of a removal of this. And then I'm just going to clean everything up first with a vacuum off camera because there's quite a bit of dirt, and then later I'm going to reassemble all of this. So this is what I have so far. So I'm just testing it out. I still have everything taken apart. So it does feel a little bit tighter than before, but I'll know after I get everything installed here properly. I can see it's the distance traveled is a lot shorter than the stock, so that feels a lot nicer and tighter. So that's a nice thing with this. To just verify everything looks good. I'm just showing everything to you guys just in case that if anybody gets lost or needs some help doing this, because I've already seen a few videos, and there's maybe a couple or so of the videos they don't show everything, so I'm trying to show most of the stuff here to help you guys with the procedure. I'm probably just going to smear a little bit of grease on the parts before I close it up. Just gonna vacuum the interior quickly, and then I'll come back on camera. So now we're just going to be replacing the boot because this boot is ripped over here. So I have the OEM one. Now this one is only specific for this Corolla. So this one has the gray color exterior and interior. So you will need to get the correct one for your vehicle. This is the part number for this one. So we are going to remove the old one now. This one just clips off. So as soon as you have this taken out off of the vehicle, it clips out, and you should be able to get it out. So this is the front. This is the front. This is going to be pointing at the front. So you're going to take this off so we can match it up exactly the same. Here's a new one. Before I put this in, I'm just going to clean this up quickly off camera, and then I'll show you on how to put it in. So I did a quick cleanup on this. So we're going to install this one now. It only goes in one way, so no other way to do it because the way it's designed, this side is longer than this side, so it's only gonna go that on the one way. So you just need to line it up and just make sure to clip it down. Just it clips in behind here. So this you just put it in like this, and slide it through just on top. It should be able to clip in. You will hear it clip, and you'll be able to see it also. So just make sure that the clips are all the way in at the bottom, and you should be all good to go to reinstall this piece back. This is the new one and this is the old one. There's a big difference. This one is 14 years old, hasn't been changed. So it's the original one that came with the vehicle. This is the new one now. So we're all good to go. I'm just going to clean up the center console piece, and then we're gonna reinstall the console, and that's going to be done for the short throw shifter. So that's it for this. We just need to reinstall this back onto the vehicle. So I'm cleaning up the center console. I forgot about this. There's some holes in this as well for the parking brake, but I just cleaned it up for now. So I won't be replacing it at the moment because I don't have one uh, right now, but probably in the near future I will be replacing it. So now I'm going to install the center console now. Back in. So once everything is in, you just need to line up the plastic pieces. Uh, there's a hole for the trim to go in, and then you just need to push it in place after that. And the same for the driver's side. This side is the passenger side. Driver's side is the same thing. Just need to line it up and push it in. It should be all good to go, and then you just need to reinstall all of the screws and the other trim pieces back. So that's that. We're just going to line up the holes for the center console. It's only the two bolts. You don't need to tighten this down too much, just snug, and you're good. Reinstall this piece, the cover piece. And now we just need to install the 4 screws back. 4 screws. The weather is improving these days, so it's a lot hotter than expected. Wasn't expecting it to be this hot today, so I think it's like 20 something Celsius, uh, 17 Celsius today. Doesn't even feel like 17. Feels more like 20 or 20 something. I'm gonna install the connections. I didn't install the connections yet. There's one for the cigarette cigarette lighter, I believe, and one for something else. Here's one that goes up here, the very top, and there's one for the cigarette lighter. Goes in the back. Here we go. This one is two individual pieces, but I had them together. So we're gonna install that. Be careful to not damage the new boot, or if you're reusing the old boot, the shift boot. So line up the dowels inside here. Should be able to get this in and be able to pop it in place. And now you can get the screws in. There you go. And then we still have to put the trim pieces. Probably going to give this a quick wipe first. Give it a quick wipe before I reinstall it. Probably some all-purpose spray, Lysol spray, or or whatever. Reinstall the trim piece back. Just the three big clips and the three small ones. I think I'm going to turn the car on because it's getting very hot in here. I do have some aftermarket stuff that I need to reinstall afterwards. Install these pieces in here. We're going to put the boot down and reinstall the plastic piece, retainer piece in here. Need to open it up. Need to open this up in order to get it in all the way. Just trying to get this in by hand and turning it, but it's very difficult to do. It's not easy. Need to extend this over, just over and under. So once you get it in, you need to slide it through, and then you need to use a screwdriver to open it so you can get it inside the housing. So you need to extend it open. I was having a hard time trying to get this in. So just use a screwdriver to open up the plastic and push down on it. I was trying to open it all this time. Open it. So this is a very tricky part. Now you can install the knob all the way through without any problems. You may need to push this back up again, I think. So it might. The problem is it doesn't go all the way through. So if you want, you can push this back up to get it to touch the bottom part. It's seated in though all the way and where it's supposed to sit in. There's the plastic piece over here. I didn't put it all the way through because then it's going to be exposed on the piece of metal here. So I left it sticking out a bit. But now I'm just having a hard time trying to line up the numbers now when I turn it all the way. The best I could do it is upside down. So I've been trying and trying off camera, but it doesn't seem to line up. So I'm trying to change it around a little bit, but still not lining up. And I'm just trying to get the white piece to be flush with the bottom piece so that the piece of metal does not show, or the white clip, because this is not long enough. The one that's from the factory knob is not long enough for the for this to cover up the stick shift all the way. So I was able to line this up. I just had to turn extremely hard, but being careful to not damage the threads on the new shift stick. So you need to be careful. So it looks pretty nice. It's pretty short, a lot shorter than the stock. So I'm able to shift gears now. It's very tight. Probably gonna go for a road test soon, and then that's going to be it. So that's it. That's going to conclude this video for today for the 2010 Toyota Corolla. And if you like this one, please don't forget to give it a like, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day and take care. Now the short shifters is pretty short. It does feel kind of weird at first, so it's gonna take a while for me to get used to it. But everything does feel a lot tighter, more stiff and tighter, a tighter feel than the stock shifter. The shifter is kind of throwing me off at first with the handling of the clutch, so it's taking me time to get used to it. Although that the shifter does not affect the clutch in any way, it still it does affect the overall experience. So it is going to take a bit of time to get used to it. Going to fifth gear feels very stiff, so you probably have to you will have to apply a bit more pressure to get into the gear. A lot of people don't know how to drive in this neighborhood. The light turns green and they're not even moving. They want me to wait several light years for them to go, for them to go. Go, man, it's clear. It's clear. I'm just driving right now, and all of these people are getting on my nerves. These people don't know how to drive in my area, so it's extremely stressful. Just very slow reaction time, really slow, like extremely slow. People just waiting until it's empty. There's so much room and so much time to go, and people don't go. Green lights, if people are not paying attention, and so on. It gets on my nerves. So anyhow, I'd say that the shifter is pretty nice. It's very sporty. I say it's sporty, but going into fifth gear is pretty difficult for some reason. So it's gonna take some time to exercise the stick shift. Maybe it'll work its way slightly looser, I think. I don't know. I was just in the neighborhood now, so now I can go a little bit faster. Fifth gears, it's hard to get into fifth for some reason. But overall, it does feel nice. You will have to put some more hand effort into the shifting. So if you are someone who doesn't want to put more effort in shifting, then I don't recommend the short shifter to you. So this is the stock shifter allows for very little effort. So a stock shifter is pretty nice, but there's a bit more travel. This one has shorter, slightly shorter travel times on this one. But other than that, it's pretty nice. It's just more sporty. It's more sporty, and that's all I can say. More tight and firm. So it's gonna take some time to get used to, compared to the stock shifter. But all in all, it feels okay to me. So it's gonna take some time to getting used to. So we'll probably need to practice going into the fifth gear because it's pretty hard to get into fifth for some reason. I'm just practicing trying to get into fifth because that's really difficult to get into for some reason. That's why you gotta make sure that you put enough grease in the base area, the assembly area, as you are doing this, because then it's gonna be hard to control it. So take some getting used to. Still feel that fifth is a little stiff to get into, so not too much of a complaint, but I can get used to it. Going back home, and that's going to be it for this video. So have a nice day and take care.